Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the UP. I am Brown Sugar, and I'm back from a little bit of a mini vacation. But I didn't go anywhere at all. But just been a little bit busy the past. I think about a week since I had an episode recorded, but had some ideas I wanted to get executed last week. I just didn't have the time to do it. But we're back now, and honestly, I think this is probably like the best time to release this. So I want to say since 2016, I've done this list called my top projects of the year, and obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm speaking music-wise for projects because I used to call it albums, but I think when I started it, that's like when Coloring Book came out, and that's literally a mixtape. So next year I changed it to top projects just in case I had anything in there. But yeah, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth this year. It's going to be called My Music Rewind 2020, and the reason I'm calling it that is it's like the Spotify rap, but I don't use Spotify. I mean, I have Spotify just because I have Hulu and I'm a college student, and I take advantage of all the college deals as much as I possibly can, and that is a good one to take advantage of. But anyways, off topic. The reason it's called the My Music Rewind is because I use Tidal. For those of you who don't know, that started out as the Jay Z and Kanye West streaming platform, but then now it's just Jay Z because Kanye left Tidal. But anyways, and the reason that I use that instead of Spotify or Apple Music is because they have mixtapes on there. They had before Future started putting his mixtapes on there on Apple Music and Spotify. That was like literally the only streaming platform, I guess, besides SoundCloud. But I don't really like SoundCloud's interface, but where you could like listen to like people's mixtapes, and that was like a big thing for me, especially obviously a lot when it came to Future because I was like in a big like Future phase, and like all of my favorite songs by him are on his mixtapes. But so that's why I use Tidal, and I just all my playlists are on Tidal, and yeah. Um, and that's what they call it, and they call it the Your Music Rewind 2020. So it's basically the Spotify rap, only theirs is not as in depth, like breaking down your genres, how many minutes, and stuff like that. But um, the reason that I'm doing this and making an episode out of it is because this is probably going to be the most in depth that I go with this. Um, as I ever have done. When I was doing it last year, um, I was thinking to myself, I like the albums that have been coming out and stuff like that, but I don't know if I can like do this and like feel like 100% good about it every single time because by like towards like I think that 2016 year it was real easy because there's a lot of really good albums that came out, and I'm not saying really good albums don't come out now, but it just seemed like there was an abundance of 2016 and 2017 to where I didn't think about how hard it could be. But neither here nor there. So let's just get into it. So my music rewind is going to include my top projects, my top songs, and then this last bit is going to be according to title. Will be my most listened to, my top albums, and my top artists. So it's basically going to be starting with my favorite albums of 2020 and then my favorite songs of 2020. So this will be my own personal. This will incorporate everything. So let's get into it. Coming in at my honorable mentions, by the way, my top projects are going to be 1 through 10, and my top songs will be 1 through 15, just because there's a lot more songs, obviously. So I just figured I'd give them 5 more spots. So my honorable mentions are going to be Chilumbo by Janae Nakio. It was a very relaxing and chill album to listen to, but some of the lyrics for this album just sometimes did it for me, sometimes they didn't. And it's like not a knock on any of them, but it's just like how I felt. Very chill album though, but not too memorable. Also, an honorable mention is going to be My Turn by Lil Baby. I didn't really get into this until like later in the year, like honestly, like in the past like 2 weeks or so. I do like Lil Baby as an artist, but I just haven't really been a super big fan of his solo projects, but My Turn, really good. Really enjoying that. High on Life by Future. So Future albums are typically really solid. I think nothing can really beat like mixtapes, but High on Life was really good. I didn't necessarily live up to The Wizard for me, which I'm pretty sure that was his last album. He's had like EPs drops and stuff like that, but and I'm not counting collabs. I'm not a super big fan of the collabs, but still. And then Legends Never by Juice World. There's just way too many songs on here, and then a lot of them sound the same. So I'm kind of hesitant when it comes to giving like albums like that the like any sort of notoriety, not notoriety, just big shot status on my list because there's like a lot of songs on there, and I really got into Juice World this year. I really got into Juice World this year, but Legends Never Die just had too many repetitive songs in it for me, but a lot of songs on there I do like. So moving into my actual top 10, it'll probably be Eternal Atake by Lil Uzi Vert. I really did enjoy this album. I don't want to say it didn't live up to the hype for me. For how long he hadn't dropped an album, I feel like there's definitely some misses on there for me. I still really enjoyed the album as a whole. I did not care for the Lil Uzi Vert versus the World Part 2 at all. I just skipped that. There's like one song off of that I actually like still listen to, Strawberry Peels, but everything else just it was a miss for me on that one. So that's why I'm only doing Eternal Take. But very good. Moving to number 9, and I had to put this on my list because of how unexpected and how like I had no expectations for this when I heard it was announced, but Emergency Tsunami by Nav, and also produced by Wheezy. So I am not a Nav fan at all. Nav, I don't fucking know. I am not a fan of him, and honestly, I consider him a cringy artist. Like, I would never sit down and be like, man, turn on that, but he has moments in songs that I really like. The ones that I can think of the best are Beebs in the Trap and also Yosemite. Both Travis Scott songs, so he just fits a Travis Scott aesthetic sometimes, like really well. But Emergency Tsunami, I listened to it because Jordan told me to give it a shot, and I did, and I was like really surprised. Just about every song on that album is a banger. I think there's like only one miss that I can think of in that, but that's my number 9. So moving into number 8, We Are Chaos by Marilyn Manson. Dude, Marilyn Manson, I'm sorry, he just makes really good music to me. I truly enjoy his music. Great, I'm not about like all the devil shit in that, but it's a really good album. I enjoy listening to it, still listen to it. I think my favorite song off that is Paint You With My Love. I believe that's the name of it, but I don't know. I just really enjoy Marilyn Manson albums. I get he's not everybody's, and I might even like raise an eyebrow just by even having him, but he's just one of my favorite like people to listen to because he makes a very, very nice style of music to me. It's very pleasant to like pleasant on my ears, just sound wise. Obviously, like lyrics wise, they're kind of scary sometimes, but yeah. All right, moving into my number 7 spot, Detroit 2 by Big Sean. Big Sean is honestly like one of like my favorite artists. Like speaking from like a genuine like hip hop rapper, someone as like true and like in that kind of nature, not really like a like trap music or the hip like punk rap, anything like that. Like getting down to like true like art, like not army, a true like hip hop artist, rappers. Big Sean is probably like my favorite. I like Cole, I like Kendrick, but I love Big Sean the most. Like he has really good songs. Detroit 2 was amazing. He had a lot of good production into that album, and I just think that Big Sean albums for the most part are always really solid and really good, and he knows exactly how to make great music. So love Detroit 2, number 7. And then going into my number 6 spot, Wanna by Gunna. Huh, that rhymes. Anyways, right now Gunna is probably top 3 of my favorite artists right now. I just really, really love his music. He has really good production on his tracks. Like he's basically like Baby Young Thug, but with his own unique sound. And I fucking love Young Thug. He's probably my favorite artist right now. So Gunna is definitely up there. And this album was just really good. A lot of really good songs on here. They all like, I want to say that they all like fit well together. They all flowed well, but they kind of meshed together at times. So that'd probably just be my only knock on it. But a lot of the songs on there are really good. Favorites off there, Argentina, and I'm pretty sure this acronym is more on the way, but MTHW, MOTW. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I don't know what the hell I spelled. Wanna, definitely a really good album. Now we're moving into the top 5. So when it comes to my top 5, these are usually where we get to the point where I will listen to the whole album through. I can listen to the whole album through and not skip any songs, or actually just sit down and listen to them. If there aren't any songs that I don't like, I'd skip. But like for these top 5 albums, there's not a song on here that I'm going to be skipping. Well, there's only one that I know of, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So yeah, number 5, Dark Lane Demo Tapes by Drake. Since this came out, whatever you want to call it, mixtape, care package, I don't fucking know. So when this came out, I said that this was the best thing that Drake has put out since nothing. No. Since if you're reading this, it's too late. This has by far been like the best shit that Drake has dropped in terms of music, in terms of production, a collection of music. I don't fucking know because I don't want to call it a album because I know it's not an album. It's like all old songs. So this is probably why I liked it so much, because it's older Drake songs, but I've never heard of them. But really good. It has a great balance of all styles of Drake, which Drake being one of my all-time favorite artists is because of how multifaceted he is. You can get so much with Drake. And I even did a whole fucking episode on Drake, so yeah, you guys know how much I love Drake. Now moving into number 4, this has been an album that I have been waiting for patiently for quite some time, and that is going to be Anniversary by Bryson Tiller. So Trap Soul by Bryson Tiller is one of my all-time favorite albums. So good. I still listen to it to this day, and I'm just so happy that he dropped Anniversary. And it was like, I didn't even know that it came out, and I was just so happy. Like, he had dropped a couple songs, and he dropped Rambo, featuring The Weeknd, which that came when I first heard that came out like all the way back when Trap Soul first came out, and I'm just surprised that he released it. The Weeknd even had to have gone back and like reworked some things in there, because I swear to God, that is not the same version that I heard all the way back. I think it was 2016, some shit like that. I don't remember, but Anniversary, man, let me tell you, that's just a really great album. The second album that Bryson Tiller dropped, I wasn't a big fan of, honestly. I'm glad that he took his time with this album and made it as perfect as possible. I'm just really glad. I love this album. Third album, probably like my favorite new artist of the year, Don Toliver. So I first started listening to Don Toliver when Jack Boys came out, because I had never heard of him before. And I remember Heaven or Hell came out the same day that After Hours did. So I was like, oh, Don Toliver dropped an album. So after I'm done listening to the Weeknd one, I'll listen to the Don Toliver one. And I'm very glad I did. Don Toliver has a really nice voice. Well, I don't know if I would say really nice. I just like the sound of his voice. I like the sound of his voice over a lot of certain beats. Is just like relaxing to me. He makes really relaxing songs to me. I just really like him. Don Toliver, really good artist. Heaven or Hell, really great. The thing that kind of sucks about them is that a lot of them became fucking TikTok songs. So if you get caught listening to them, it's almost like, I don't know. I don't think it's not to the point where I was like, I don't want to listen to this because people consider it, because people know it for TikTok mostly now. But sometimes it's in the back of my head, especially if I'm in my car and it comes on and I'm in the car with other people. If it's like that, then I was like, I hope they don't think I got this off from fucking TikTok. But, anyways, moving to my number 2, "Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon" by Pop Smoke. Rest in peace, Pop fucking Smoke, baby. I shit you not. The way I discovered him is probably it was from Gotti, from Jack Boys, and I was like, dude, I don't know who this fucking guy is that starts it with like the fucking dirty ass deep voice, but I'm like, I really fucking love this guy's voice and I want to listen to his music. What I had noticed is people were talking about Pop Smoke, people that I follow like on Twitter talking about Pop Smoke, but I was like, I don't know Pop Smoke. I've seen pictures of him too. And I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but I don't know. Maybe I'll listen to his music sometimes because I heard that, oh, he has an album coming out. But anyways, then I was listening to Gotti, and then I heard the guy say, "You cannot say Pop and forget the smoke." I'm like, yo, is this fucking Pop Smoke? So, yeah, and then I shit you not. Like, I swear to God, it felt like the next day. It probably wasn't, but it just feels like it in my head. He gets fucking murdered. But rest in peace, Pop, dude. I don't understand why people shit on this album. Like, there are some songs in here that I skip. Mostly the snitching song, as I think it's only the snitching song. I really don't fucking like that song. It's fucking annoying with fucking Quavo going snitch, like, bro, shut the fuck up. But that's like the only song on this album that I skip. I still listen to it. The way it starts off with "Bad Bitch from Tokyo" and then segues into "Shoot for the Stars," really smooth transition. Really like it, and I don't know. I love artists who like change their voice depending on the song. Granted, Pop Smoke is not somebody who is like has like different layers to him. Like how when I refer to that, I think of like Kendrick Lamar, and his songs can like vary from whatever. Pop Smoke songs are usually kind of about like the same couple things. I would say, which I'm not like complaining about because I still really like them, but yeah, "Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon," really fucking good song. But people shit on it because I don't know. Because I get what they're saying when people like praise albums just because the artist is dead, even though they're really not as good. Which I can definitely see that being the case for Pop Smoke. But I genuinely enjoyed just about every single song on here. Obviously, I enjoyed songs a lot more than others. Didn't care for the snitching one, but I don't know. I feel like people give it too much praise and they give it too much hate at the same time. It just depends on the point of view. And then moving into the number 1 spot, if you know me and if you talk to me, you already know what my number 1 project of the year is. It's "After Hours" by The Weeknd. Weeknd, probably like my favorite all-time artist, and if not, he's up there. He's really fucking good. I love the trilogy and Kissland, and then when he started becoming a little bit more pop, like when it came into "Beauty Behind the Magic" and "Starboy," I started to like, I still listen to him, but not like as much. I wasn't like anticipating every drop. Like I obviously like the night that the shit would come out, I would get it and listen to it. But then he started to win me back a little bit with "My Dear Melancholy," and then he dropped "Heartless," and I really fucking liked it. But I was still a little skeptical about the album that was coming out, especially when "Blinding Lights," because it was like, okay, it's starting to feel like a Starboy release where he releases like 2 like really good like popping song, like pop style songs. At least that's how I felt after "Blinding Lights." "Heartless" was good, but I was like, it kind of reminded me of Starboy, but just not as poppy. But then he dropped "After Hours," like the song "After Hours," and I was like, yo, if I'm going to get this kind of Abel on the album, I am super fucking excited. And honestly, it combined all the best stuff from his pop style albums, like Starboy and My Beautiful, no, Kanye, Beauty Behind the Madness. Oh man, I'm gonna catch some shit for that. But when it came to those, it took the best from them and it brought it with like the dark lyrics of the trilogy. Just didn't sound as dark and dirty. It reminded me of like Future's music because that's how Future like makes songs. You know, like they're upbeat and like they're kind of like masqueraded by like that upbeat and like awesome like production on it, to where if you pay attention to the lyrics, they're actually pretty fucking sad and twisted. And that's how I felt about this album, so which why I liked it a lot. I listen to it all the fucking time. I have it on literally everything that I can get it besides vinyl, and that's just because it's not out yet. But I love it. It's up there with my favorite weekend projects, albums, whatever, mixtapes, because it's just really good to me. A lot of the songs really speak to me too, especially during like this past year. So by far, that's my number one album, number one project of the year. And now moving to my, and again, these are like my own personal ones. So moving to my top songs of the year, that is going to start off with "We Paid" by Lil Baby, and also featuring 42 Doug. 42. I don't know. I can't think of his fucking name right now, but beat really fucking good. And it's just like it's just a bopping fucking song, man. I don't really have too much I can say about it. And I didn't even bother with an honorable mentions for this list just because there'd be so many. But I'm just trying to think of like the songs that I've been listening to a lot throughout the whole year and then really fucking with a lot. Which I feel like there's probably be some recency bias here, but I don't know. Like when I first constructed it, and then when I went back through today, I feel like I engulfed like the perfect amount of like songs that came out this year. So We Paid, and then Deep Reverence off of Big Sean's Detroit 2, featuring Nipsey Hussle. I mean, it's just it's just great to hear Nipsey Hussle. Like honestly, he's just like a genuinely like good rapper, and I do enjoy like hearing him like coming in. I wish he would have been able to get like a whole proper verse on this song, but the chorus by him, well done, and then the like somewhat of a chorus that he does have at the start, I really do enjoy it. And Big Sean, with this Detroit 2 album, the reason that I like it so much is because, he touches on mental health quite a bit. Not quite a bit, but like throughout some songs, and I think it's really important that men are more open about their mental health. And obviously in a community like the hip hop community where stuff like that isn't talked about as nearly as much as it should, despite the fact that it still goes on, when you have people like Juice WRLD, Peep, Mac Miller, who are like ODing and stuff like that because they don't have a proper way to deal with their emotions. But I'm just glad that he's bringing light to that. The one reason why I really enjoyed Deep Reverence, because I think one of my favorite bars of the year, or the best lyrics, is to me is he's talking about, he says, okay, so without looking it up, I think in school I learned chemistry, biology, psychology, but not how to deal with anxiety. It's something along those lines. I can't believe I'm blanking on it. I literally was just listening to it today, but I really enjoy it and I love the message behind it. So 14. Moving in to, this is one of the songs I had to go back and add on my list. After today, because I was like, yeah, I listened to this song a lot and I really love it. I still really do. It's No Time to Die by Billie Eilish. Earlier in this year, I got really big into Billie Eilish. I really really like her music. And I'll be honest, I slept on her a little bit because I thought that she might have been overhyped. But I did enjoy like her mainstream songs like Bury a Friend and Bad Guy. And then I went through and actually listened to the rest of her other songs. I'm like, yo, this is like actual like music I listen to, vibe with, and relate to. But No Time to Die, that's when the James Bond movie was going to be coming out, called No Time to Die. And I was like psyching myself up for it because my last like really favorite James Bond movie was Skyfall, and I remember I love Adele's song from there, Skyfall. So real excited for the movie, and the song just made me even more hyped because it was a really good song. Billie Eilish, amazing fucking vocals. She might have some of the best vocals in the industry right now, in all honesty. All right, number 12, Escape from LA by The Weeknd off After Hours. I I just love this song. It's like so catchy. I love the beat. It's like a chilling beat, and I feel like it's something that, although it's not something people can probably directly relate to, given the circumstances of his girl pulled up to the studio and they fucked in the studio. Yeah, I don't think any of us are doing that, but he starts the song off with, "You pillow talk to me about the man who's trying to get in between us." So I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of stuff in this album, and especially the song, that people can relate to the idea of, just specifically not what he's talking about. Number 11, Years Go by Bryson Tiller. This is what kicks off Anniversary, and I honestly can't think of a more perfect way to kick the album off, because Bryson Tiller is such a good fucking artist, man. He is one hell of an R&B artist, but the soul and like the trap, not trap, soul artist as well. But he mixes in hip hop into his song so fucking well, and it's just really good. The production on this album is up there too. I keep talking about the production of the album, but there's like a lot of good, a lot of really well produced albums this year. So I really did enjoy that song. Great way to kick it off. Number 10, After Party by Don Toliver. I remember when I first heard the song off the album, I was kind of like, this sounds a little cheesy, but then it was catchy though. The chorus is catchy, so then I was like, like I kept finding myself like humming it, and eventually, you know, I just like had to like I like added it to like my playlist, and then I just started listening to like more and more. And After Party, really good. Number 9, For the Night by Pop Smoke. Man, it's just there's so many good songs off that. A lot of them would probably be like that 16 through 20 mark if this was like a top 20. Like there had to be, because I had to leave off The Woo, and then I also Creature by Sway Lee, with not by Sway Lee, Creature by Pop Smoke, but with Sway Lee. Man, there's just so many good ones, and For the Night was by far the one I listened to the most, and I really think I fucked with the most. You know, Pop Smoke just comes and says, "If I call you babe, you babe for the day, or babe for the night, you not my..." Like, I'm just telling you, man, Pop Smoke. So that album's so good, and I just really enjoyed this song for sure. So loved it a lot. Now moving into number 8 is Hello by Pop Smoke. So, man, this is on the deluxe, and I missed it at first, but A Boogie and Pop Smoke go really good. I really love the chorus on here. You know, I love songs that shout out Carmelo Anthony because he's one of my favorite basketball players. So, gotta love that. Love that song. Real catchy too. A Boogie's little like tribute towards Pop Smoke at the end of his verse, pretty nice too. So yeah, love that song a lot. Moving into number 7 is No Idea by Don Toliver. Oh man, what can I say about this song? Just a really good song. I don't know how I can explain some of these songs. It's just, especially when it comes to the top, because I feel like to me they're just self-explanatory on why I like them so much. This is why I can't really go too in depth about how much I like them. I like songs mostly for their sound and like their feel, and also their lyrics as well. But a lot of them have to do sound. At least this year, just a lot of really good sounding albums. Number 6, More on the Way. I'm assuming that's what the song means, or MOTW by Gunna. Just another one of those songs where, you know, Gunna makes a really nice sounding song, and I just vibe with it. And now this is like a combination of like 2 of my like favorite artists right now, like one of my favorite artists right now, and then my favorite artist of the year, my new favorite artist of the year, and then also Nav. So it's Lemonade. For those of you who don't know, I would highly advise all of you checking out everything that I am talking about today if you haven't heard them already, if you think I have a good taste in music. But Lemonade, so fucking good. I feel like everybody should know this song because it's a pretty big song this year. Lemonade with Gunna, Don Toliver, and Nav. Just love the sound of it. And both Gunna and Nav go in on this, along with Don Toliver. Everybody just fucking goes in. Number 4, Chicago Freestyle by Drake. God damn, dude, this is just such like it feels like a throwback Drake song, you know, in terms of like feel and vibe. And the sound of it, I have no idea who the hell he had to feature in this, but I just love the sound of their voice and how it complements the beat so well. And, you know, Drake once again making relatable sad boy music, so Chicago Freestyle, so good. Number 3, this is like one of the greatest collabs ever that it just seems like it's so obvious to have like on paper, but you never thought about it until it came out. Out of Time, Bryson Tiller and Drake, so fucking good. Drake goes in on the vocals. They both go in on the vocals this song, but like sometimes Drake doesn't always do it on every single album to where you can like notice, or at least if he does it, it's not on songs that anybody fucking cares about, or the ones I care about at least. So when Drake comes in and does his vocals, they're just so soothing, so beautiful to hear on Out of Time. I feel like this one was probably missed the most since it's still like it's off the Bryson Tiller album and it's still fairly recent. So if you haven't heard this song, I really advise you to go back and listen to it. So good. Then number 2, Argentina by Gunna. this is the opening track from Wanna, and I thought it was only set like a really chill, like hypnotic vibe for the whole album, which a lot more songs further on are, but the tone like drastically shaked up after this song, because this one was just like so chill, and I just love it. I just really love that song. And my favorite song of the year, it's definitely just going to have to be After Hours by The Weeknd on After Hours. I mean, the beat is flawless, and the lyrics is what I usually live for on The Weeknd songs, especially this one, because talking about how he fucked up by letting this person that's so good for him go, and he doesn't, like, if he gets another chance, like, I don't know, that's just relatable ass fucking shit to me. And honestly, I just really fucking love it. I love that song, I love that whole album, which is why he has like the top spot for our album and top spot for my songs. But I just want to say, like, I feel like I might get some flack for not having like more songs by him on my top 15 list, but if I listed off every single song that I listened to like multiple times this year that came out this year, a lot of his songs are probably going to be like in the top 20, top 30, not top 20, top 30s probably. And now I'm moving on to the next section of my music rewind for 2020. So this is going to be my most listened to according to title. This is going to obviously be what I actually had been listening to, as opposed to because a lot of the stuff doesn't come out until later in the year. So, and I was listening to stuff from like older stuff too, or like some stuff that came out towards the end of 2019. So you're going to see that a lot throughout here, or songs that I had to go back and discover like in the past year that I missed just because quarantine, and I had a lot more free time to like listen to music, so I had to go back and find some stuff. But so this one may be, I just did my top 3 as opposed to because they gave me a whole playlist for each month of my favorite, of like my most listened to songs for that month. So I'm just going to go with the top 3, and this is according to title. Another disclaimer I want to put in here is that I would only listen to After Hours by The Weeknd, like the album at a time. I only added like a handful of songs like to each of my playlists, but so it's not going to be super accurate because I listened to that on I bought that from iTunes, and I would listen to it like on the Apple Music listening app, or Apple Music. I don't know why the fuck I said all that, but and then I would listen to everything else on Tidal. So I know it doesn't make any fucking sense, but that's just the way I fucking did it. I don't know why, but so it's not gonna be super accurate information. I think it'll be fairly accurate up until we get to April, I would say. April and March, probably. But let's just hop right into it. So my top 3 songs of January were Gang Gang off the Jack Boys album, Out West off the Jack Boys album, and The Box by Roddy Ricch. So when Jack Boys came out, I gave it like I think I put it at number 7 for my albums of the year, or my top projects. I think it was number 7 because I didn't have like enough time to like listen to it and like enjoy like every single song and stuff like that. But really, really good album, and I just kept listening to Gang Gang a lot. I love the Sheck West part in there, but honestly, if this album came out just like a couple weeks later into 2020, it honestly probably would have been my second favorite album of the year. It'd be hard. It's hard to beat The Weeknd's album this year to me, but it honestly would have been like number 1 all the way up until After Hours came out. But yeah, and then for February, it's Had Enough off the Jack Boys album. I love Don Toliver's voice, so fucking good, man. And then Orange Soda by Baby Keem, and then No Time to Die. So I'm telling you, when No Time to Die came out, like that made me want to go listen to Billie Eilish, and you're about to see in the next in the next month. But yeah, I really enjoyed No Time to Die, and then I found Baby Keem, Orange Soda, really fucking good. Oh man, and then Had Enough. I'm telling you, that Jack Boys album, really fucking good, guys, if you haven't listened to it. And then, by the way, when I read these off, it's going 1, 2, 3 and not 3, 2, 1. So I know I've been like counting up when I did like my top projects, but now I'm just reading it. I'm just listing them in order. So for March is After Hours, then Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish, and then No Time to Die by Billie Eilish. So that stayed in my number 3 spot for listening to for the month on Tidal. And then this is where I got into Billie Eilish because I had everything I wanted, and the rest of that playlist, so I kept going on. I think there's "I Love You" by Billie Eilish, Zanny. It was just like basically every fucking Billie Eilish song that you can think of because I really got into her and I started listening to all of her fucking songs like all the fucking time. But I really enjoy Billie Eilish. She's a really great artist, and like I said, she probably has like some of the best vocals right now. All right, but moving on to April, we have P2 by Lil Uzi Vert, basically like the unofficial follow up, the unofficial sequel to EXO Tour. I really liked it. It's similar beat and like still like pretty like gloomy and sad. So, and if you can tell like for March, April, and May, I was like definitely in like a sad state of mind based on all the songs that I had been listening to. Like the new top songs are like towards the top, but like everything else is just like sad music. I think for March, April, May, and then I think it's at the very bottom for June, but fucking Suicidal Thoughts by Notorious B.I.G. was in all those fucking playlists. So yeah, you can tell it wasn't that good of a time for me based off my fucking music. But still though, April, really good. Oh wait, I didn't think I read the last one. The last one was Heartless, the Heartless remix with Lil Uzi Vert. So all those are Lil Uzi Vert songs, or has Lil Uzi Vert in them, because P2 off Eternal Take, Strawberry Peels, which has Gunna and Young Thug. I love that song, and I love all of them getting together to do that. And then the Heartless remix has Lil Uzi Vert in it, so yeah, Lil Uzi Vert, I think that is the first month where an artist is in my top 3 songs, or one artist is in every single top 3 song, but he didn't own all top 3 songs. I have to get to another month before that happens, but we're almost to that one. Yeah, we're almost to it, I guess. All right, and now for May, we have Perfect 10 by DJ Mustard with Nipsey Hussle. I don't know. I just find this an inspiring, uplifting song. I would just advise listening to it if you haven't before. Really good, really good. R.I.P. Nip, bro. R.I.P. Then D for L off the Dark Lane Demos tape. Drake, Thug, Future, man. Like that's Katie, Clay, and fucking Steph, man. Like they're fucking unbelievable goats. Like at all their positions, man. Like unbelievable. Just that song is just so fucking good. And when Future starts going like fire, bro. Really good. Love that. Love that song. And then Chicago Freestyle. Already talked about Chicago Freestyle. You know how it is. You're about to see it in June. Going into June, Argentina. That was already up there, my songs for the year. You know why. You know Gunna. You know what the fuck it is. Then Chicago Freestyle. And then my third most listened to song of June is Bombs by Fabulous. That's when The Last Dance came to Netflix. Or no. That's when The Last Dance was being played, I thought, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when, because yeah. So that's when, and I don't know, that song, like the dun dun dun, but yeah. All right, and then July, my birthday month. So this is the first month where artists held what made each of my top 3 songs. My number 1 song is For the Night by Pop Smoke. My second song is Dior by Pop Smoke. And then number 3, Creature by Pop Smoke with Sway Lee. So I told you this is just a really good album. I really like that Sway Lee, the Pop Smoke and Sway Lee song too. It's just, they just complement each other. One's like raspy and got a dirty voice. The other one's just like so soothing, but it's both like some nice trap music. Okay. And now for August, this is when I got big into Juice WRLD. Like, I don't know how I got into Juice WRLD so much, but this is, I just really got into him. This is when I started really getting into it. I think this is when I was like running like, where I was just like, I don't know, I was feeling some type of way about shit that was going on. So All Girls Are the Same by Juice WRLD, Heartbroken Time, and then Creature by Pop Smoke again, and then More on the Way by Gunna. I already talked about Creature and More on the Way. So, but All Girls Are the Same. This is when I started getting into my Juice WRLD phase and really started like taking a liking to his music, because I don't know, it felt a lot more relatable now. But Then going into September, Juice World took a clean sweep with my top three for September. It went "Let Me Know," which is my favorite Juice World song, and then "Lucid Dreams," and then "Robbery," and then I'm pretty sure I think my top four are all Juice World songs, and then I think like just about all of my top 10 are like various Juice World songs. "Life's a Mess" is also another one of my favorite songs. I had to leave that and "Righteous" off my top songs of the year, but they're up there though. But October was "Out of Time," "Years Go By," the Bryson Tiller songs. So you already know what it is. Listen to that fucking album if you haven't. Another good song, which I will get to for November, "Sorrows" by Bryson Tiller. Very good song, all off Anniversary, so give it a listen. And then my number 30 song for October was "Missed You" by The Weeknd. I wasn't necessarily a fan of how quick The Weeknd released like his deluxe version of the album with like all the songs he left off. I would have preferred him to drop it like around this time or something like that. That way I wouldn't feel like, I wouldn't say I felt burnt out by the album at all, but you know, at that point I was like, I listened to it so much, I don't want to listen to more of it when I have to like, when I don't have to, but I want to listen to other things. I want to listen to new things that have came out and I just didn't listen to. But went back through, got "Missed You," really like that one. November we have "Sorrows," the Bryson Tiller song. I'm telling you, just such a really good song, man. Just listen to Anniversary. Enough said. Then "Spaceships" by Trippie Redd with Young Thug. I just flew two bitches in from overseas. They both from Portugal, they both Portuguese. Like, let me tell you, man. Trippie Redd, his voice is just so fun for me to try to mimic or recreate. But Pegasus was actually a really decent album. I liked it a lot. Wee! Good song as well. And then my third top song from November, "Deep Reverence." So I already talked about that and just the significance to that to me, or that whole album, I guess. But yeah. And then since December technically isn't done yet, this is what I would assume would be "Streets" by Doja Cat, because I've discovered that like not even a week ago, and I listen to it at least 3 times a day. When I first found out, I listened to it for over an hour straight. And then I don't know, it's just really catchy and I fucking love it. I don't know why. And then "Lonely" by Justin Bieber. Really sad song, but I really like it. You know, you're in your feels, your sad boy days. Toss on "Lonely." And really good. And then I've been talking about this, but Astro World has really aged well for me. Um, I think I wasn't a super big fan of it when it first came out. Like, I liked it a lot, but I don't know. I think it's just because it was so long, I didn't give as much attention to a bunch of songs on there. So like this year, I went back and started finding like songs that I really enjoy a lot more than what I probably initially did. And one of them is going to be "Coffee Bean." He's talking about his relationship with Kylie Jenner, and it's just a really good song. I love the beat. It's like a throwback beat, honestly, and I just love seeing Travis Scott like do different things because he can literally do just about anything and make it work. So yeah, just really love to hear that. And now moving into, and by the way, that was just what I would guess on my own opinion. Now going through my top albums according to title, it would be Jack Boys, "Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon" by Pop Smoke, "Anniversary" by Bryson Tiller. I don't know why I was blanking on his fucking name. And number 4, "High Off Life" by Future. And the number 5, "Dark Lane Demo Tapes" by Drake. And again, I listen to After Hours on Apple, so that's probably, so in case that's why like I didn't like put too much like focus on this part of the episode because it's not super accurate, but this part I feel like is going to be accurate. I feel like my number one most listened to artist, definitely because of how much I've been listening to in like these past couple of months, is definitely going to be Juice World. The Weeknd would either narrowly be number 1 or he would barely be number 2, but on this list it would be Future, and then Young Thug, because that's Thugger, baby, And then Travis Scott, like I said, Astro World has really aged well for me, and I find myself going back and listening to it a lot these past couple months and finding songs on there that I liked but didn't necessarily knew I liked before until I heard them again. And then also I started listening to Rodeo a lot because I listened to Days Before the Rodeo mixtape like a shit ton, but I don't remember listening to Days Before the Rodeo a lot. And then I got real big into Uncut Gems again, like the Weekend part, and then I wanted to listen to that song, the Pray for Love, and that was on that album, so I just kept listening to that song from the album, and the rest of the album started playing. I was like, yo, that's a pretty good album. Well, really well, and I don't remember too much, but yeah, I guess I went back and listened to a lot of Travis Scott this year that I didn't even, like, register in my head. Yeah, because I got into Days Before the Rodeo, before the Rodeo a lot, and then Astroworld again, so, wow, I didn't even think about that much, but... All right, cool. And then number 5 would be Drake, and this is all according to Tidal. And like, I made my big Master Drake playlist too on Tidal, so that's all. So that's definitely going to be up there in terms of like listening to Drake, because I was like, man, I'd be so great if I had like a playlist filled with like all my favorite Drake songs, whether he's featured in them, made them, or whatever. And I finally did it. I finally took the time aside to do it. All right, and that was my Music Rewind 2020. I'm glad that I did this because I usually just make a top 10 and then post them on Twitter, but I'm glad that I have an opportunity to explain like a little bit more in depth why I rank things the way I did. So, and as I said before, definitely check any of these out that you didn't listen to, whether if it's not your kind of fucking music or not, just fucking listen to it because I have amazing taste in music, but... yeah, so glad I was able to do this. Glad you guys stopped by and hope you enjoyed the episode. Until the next Undesired and Prescribed podcast, guys, I will see you when I see you. Take care.